Hello, my friends. Once again, this is Rick, and welcome to your seat table. Got a little Missy sitting over here. She's been in here with doors wide open. She's been in here for the last hour and a half with me and through several videos, which is, I guess she just wants to be close to me. This is June 15th. Father's Day. It's Sunday. Obviously, it won't be Sunday when I post this video. We are going to start do a couple videos for my Interstellar Frontiers game. I am slowly making progress. I'm almost done with the personalities chapter, which is quite extensive. I just did the Ronin Knight and Warlord, and I think the Cult Prior, and then I got Bounty Hunter still to do. And I'm sure there's 2 or 3 more, and then from there I turn to genomes. Genomes in Interstellar Frontier is races, and lion's share of the genomes in the Interstellar Frontiers collection are genetic manipulations of humanity. So humanity has genetic its gene pool creatively spliced with other things, animals, fish, alien DNA. Avian DNA, with all the pros and cons that come out of that sort of thing. So, that's just kind of one of those deals. So I would say I'm about not quite a quarter of the way through the core book in replicating it as a digital format. I do have the core book and the equipment guide and the build manual in a PDF form. Basically, it was all my pages were scanned and then linked together as a single PDF. By all means, within my YouTube channel, you can find access to my my email address. If you're interested in a free copy of the game, by all means, please drop me a line and I will send it to you. I've already sent it to several people. It is a time-consuming game. I am not going to lie. There is a lot here. But it is quite adaptable. You could play this in a way as an RPG if you wanted to, because there's a lot of elements in there that lends itself to that. At least that's what I'm being told. And I kind of always known that. Like I said, this is zero sugar mug of root beer. After I got diagnosed with diabetes a couple years ago, I had to give up the Pepsi. I used to drink Pepsi nonstop all day long, which attributed me to getting to be 420 pounds at one point and killing me in the size of the cholesterol and, more importantly, the high levels of sugar in my system. So I switched to Pepsi Zero, and this one here is a Pepsi product. It's not bad as long as it's really cold. And it's like anything else. In me, I don't like warm pop in any form whatsoever, but these things have different kinds of flavoring, enhancers, or substitutes for sugar. It's like the Diet Pop. I never acquired a taste for Diet Pop because of the aftertaste. I don't like the aftertaste. And it is what it is. So, we're looking at Chasity Blake. She originally, quote, graduated from my Sensi school and learned got a bonus for her martial arts. And I've decided I'm going to go ahead and put Fred Dodge through that same program. So Fred Dodge, I'll put that down, is going to be out of commission. So Fred Dodge moves goes to the Sensi for training for the next 5 cycles, and Chasity Blake is now being assigned. She was part of a 6-person group. I had one special ops team squad that was taking that course, and I believe that one was part of the intelligence ministry, just like Chasity Blake. Now, there's important to know differences. Pretty sure Chasity Blake is not a Ranger, but she is a 007. I'll have to go back and verify that. But in either case, what I'm going to have her do is try to infiltrate the Tuff gang to get closer to its leader and to learn more about the gang and try to somehow sway that gang member leadership over into the idea of, becoming house friendly, right? So one of the first things I have to do is for Chasity, of course, is going to take the effort to disguise herself and make herself look a bit more rough and tumble, the sort of spaceport rat that you might find that expect to have made her way off with some tramp freighter and is now looking for some kind of job and isn't overly picky on what she does. Mostly she wants to show off and impress the tough leader so that maybe they'll recruit her. And so in order to do that, she's already got all the been handed and briefed by Fred Dodge, so she has all the information that Fred already knows on the leader, the leader's stats, or as we've already established, the leader's name, position, their location, that kind of stuff. So now she has to just kind of get attention and somehow draw attention from this player. So this NPC. So this brings us to the interaction chart. And it's not going to be very long. It's not going to be very complicated. I just want to know, can Chasity get this tough leader's attention? And so we're going to do basically a couple little rolls. Chasity Blake has a mental attribute of plus 11%, and the tough gang leader has a mental attribute of plus 9%. So Chasity gets a plus 2% modifier. We subtract the negative or the 9 from the 11, so Chasity gets a whole plus 2 on her D100 roll. Just kind of how that plays out. Or you would say the D100 plus 11, and then the counter roll would be whatever the tough leader has plus 9, and so in this case plus 9. So I just kind of look at this. So let's go ahead and move this over to the next page. Let's see. Can Chasity gain tough leader attention? And you can, from a role-playing perspective, this could be as simple as walking up and slapping her in the face. I mean, I'm not going to put that down as a caveat because I'm not going into that level of detail. But we get, she gets a plus 2% on her roll, and we're going to see if she can get some kind of attention. Maybe it's good, maybe it's bad. Okay, my lighter dice is always representing a 10, so this is 18 plus 2. Equals 20%. I don't think this is going to work out well. They attempt to make sure I got the right one here. That's common investigations. This is the interaction chart. Yeah. All right. So Chasity goes up and tries to talk to the tough leader, who then makes the attempt to persuade you to change your mind. Tries to change Chastity's mind and add a 10% to the next roll, and then add 5%, which stacks for each related request or action asked to this event. So we end up with a soft no. Soft no. She's like, no, we're not recruiting. You probably should just go away because we don't know who you are. We don't trust you. So on and so forth. Chasity. Let's she say would acts brash. Demands a spot in the gang. And we already have a negative 10%. And so we look at this again, negative 10%. So the soft no gives us a negative 10%. And so this negative 10 is going to retain in, and every time after this, I'm going to have an additional negative 5. So eventually she's going to push it too far, and the tough leader is going to literally shut her out altogether and not want to talk to her again or try to kill her. I mean, I guess it depends how you look at it. So remember, we have a base of 2% from above, so that equals a negative 8% on this roll. So in this case, a negative 18%. So acts brash and demands a spot in the group. So negative 18. Let's roll our D100. All right, so we get an 86. So 86 minus 18. So 76, 68%. So we look at 68%. Sold. Tough leader finds it agreeable, finds it offer, and gains a plus 10 plus, so it's yes, plus 10%. So, just for shits and giggles, keeping in mind that negative 5% didn't go away. So now I have this next thing. If I'm going to try to do one more thing. So we actually have a negative 15% here with a plus 10% or 12% because the chassity's 2% advantage doesn't go away. So negative 15 plus 12, so we end up with a negative 3%. Chasity wants to know if the gang has a job planned. You know, because hey man, I need this. I need some cash. I need some fast loot. What do you guys got in the works so we can get involved? I want to get right into it right now. So we're going to try that with a negative 3%. Let's see what happens. So we got a 22. 22 minus 3 is 19%. All right. So 19% is, once again, she attempts to persuade her to change her mind. So if they have something planned, the Tuff leader doesn't want to tell her about it just yet, which makes sense. You know, first off, she didn't want to recruit anybody in the first place, and then Chasity insisted, quite vehemently, no doubt, kind of leaned in and said, you know, you're making a mistake here, and changed the Tuff leader's mind and said, okay, maybe we'll give you a try. Well, and then Chasity goes, so what's the big plan? What are we doing? And the Tuff leader's like, yeah, you just fuel your jets there, Toots. We ain't gotten that point yet. So that said, keeping in mind, we gained another negative 5%. So we went to 10, 15. Now we're at negative 20% right off the bat. But this change your mind thing, 22. Yeah, see, this is now adding an additional negative 10% plus another negative 5% per and call it question. Let's call it question. Event, action, however you want to look at it. So we're now at a negative 35%. For anything that I might follow up on. So even with that positive 2, it would be negative 33%. But I would have to roll extremely high to get anything in there. So I'm going to conclude this at this point that Chasity has gained, what do we call it? Temporary, a trial membership. Now, there's some advantages to this. I could, of course, just come out and try to figure out what these guys are doing, create that. There's all that. There's elements in the core book that lets us do that. We could walk through and actually find it and figure out what kind of scam or scheme or plan the Tuff leader is trying to work up. Now, we know that they were recently involved with unloading some stolen or questionably acquired agranites that the house confiscated, and so obviously they got burned on that one and didn't get their payout. They can't be happy for that, so they got to be looking for yet the next scam. I could try to create that from scratch. I can go through the roles and the what ifs tables and stuff like that and actually come up with something, or I wait for it to happen. That's generally how I like to deal with stuff. You already get enough paperwork to deal with on a regular basis, so why generate more for yourself unless you're literally that damn bored? So we wait for an event role that would tie in with the gang. Chasity just becomes a member of the gang. The longer the time goes, the more that she'll be accepted by the gang. So when that event role does occur, I have an insight. So at that point, I don't need to find the gang. I'll know where they are, and I will have an idea idea. From there, I will structure what the caper is based on the event roll and what makes sense of the current situation going on at the time. I mean, we also have yet to find that damn terrace, so that is something I can check next time, is to have Chasity see if she recognizes, or if she can find out any information on the would-be terrace. And we're gonna see if I put a note here. So 4 cycle 19 Chasity to see, or to see if Tuff Gang has contact with the elusive terrorist. See, that's the thing about this sort of thing. So I can sit there with this elusive terrorist on the run and go, okay, at some point, if there's no event rolls, let's say in 10 cycles, so time cycle 28 rolls around and there's been no terrorist activity whatsoever, I can make a reasonably educated assumption that the terrorist has moved on. They were here briefly, whatever they did or they didn't do, and they moved on, or they just went to ground and are waiting for an opportunity. So I mean, it's just different in how you want to present it, how you want to play it out. Anyway, that's it for this one. I'm Rick, you're not. Have you guys have a great